Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about a topic that you all know, but when you encounter this in a question, you get confused. So today we are going to hit on that aspect of the topic called percentages. Let's take a very simple example, 25%. What it means is that 25 gets converted to 25 and the percentage changes to divided by 100. So 25 divided by 100 is nothing but 1 by 4. This we learned in our fractions class. The next thing that I'm going to ask might be a little bit contradictory to the notion of maths. I'm going to ask you to memorize some of the percentages to fraction conversion. But how does that help? Now let's take an example of 44.44%. Now, when you involve this into some computation, you are surely going to mess it up at some place or the other. So instead of working with 44.44, you can directly convert it into 4 times 11.11%, which is nothing but 1 by 9. And the whole thing works out as a fraction as 4 by 9. Let's take another example, 37.5%. This is nothing but 12.5 times 3. So it's nothing but 3 by 8. Now let's deal with the notion of what is p% of x. And we are going to work with a very simple example. 12.5% of 64. Using our fractions table, we know that it's 1 by 8. So 64 divided by 8 is nothing but 8. So 12.5% of 64 is 8. So p% of x is nothing but p times x divided by 100. And this is really similar to x% of p. That's also going to be x times p into 100. And this gives us the swap trick. If you are asked to compute 64% of 25, instead of doing that, compute 25% of 64 and you are going to get 16. Next, we are going to discuss some very simple percentage computation. And we are not going to do it using the traditional multiplication. We are going to use very simple calculations. Let's say we want to compute 23% of 400. Now 10% of 400 is 40 and 20% is 80. And 1% of 400 is 4, so 3% would be 12. And 23% is nothing but the sum of these two. So 80 plus 12, which gives us 92. Now let's take another example, 55% of 240. Now 50% is nothing but half, which is 120. And 5% is 1 by 10th of that half, which is 12. Now for 55%, you just add 120 and 12, you get 132, which is your answer. Now coming to the last part, how to compute the percentage. And I recommend students to just learn one simple thing. Percentage is nothing but some value by some base times 100. And that is it. So the example that we are going to take is what percentage is 90 of 120. While computing what percentage is 90 of 120, the value is actually 90. And the base is going to be 120. Which is nothing but 3 by 4 and it comes out to be 75%. And I think this we all know. In our school test, we used to get our final marks as percentages and we all know the meaning of those percentages. It's the marks that you obtained divided by total into 100. In that case, the basis of our comparison is the total. So total comes in the place of the base.